This training is regarding the random validation of the American Rescue Plan, ARP ESSER 3, addressing learning loss, the 20% required set-aside. The training and random validation will be conducted by the ESSER compliance team in the Special Monitoring Division at the Texas Education Agency. This presentation is intended solely to provide general information and guidance to Texas LEAs and ESCs, and it does not constitute legal advice. LEAs are encouraged to seek legal guidance from their legal counsel at their local education agency. Section 2001 E1 of the ARP Act states that an LEA must reserve not less than 20% of its total ARP ESSER allocation to address learning loss through the implementation of evidence-based interventions, such as summer learning or summer enrichment, extended day, comprehensive after-school programs, or extended school year programs, and ensure that such interventions respond to students' academic, social, and emotional needs and address the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on underrepresented student subgroups. As part of TEA's ARP ESSER 3 state plan, we are required to monitor those requirements. As such, we will conduct random validations of these requirements in 2 phases. For phase 1, we will be contacting 153 LEAs, and for phase 2, we will be contacting 211 LEAs. These LEAs will be notified that they've been selected for random validation and are expected to provide documentation for activities and student groups related to the 20% required set-aside. For phase 1, MET compliance notifications will be sent out by July 31st, 2023. In phase 2, LEAs will be notified of MET compliance on December 31st, 2023.
The documentation must address how the interventions will respond to the academic, social, emotional, and mental health needs of all students, and particularly those students disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, including students from low-income families, students of color, English learners, children with disabilities, students experiencing homelessness, children and youth in foster care, and migratory students. Some examples of the documentation that we will be accepting include learning acceleration plans, comprehensive needs assessment, evidence-based summer school program information, high-dosage tutoring program information, high-quality instructional materials, extended day or extended year program information, community partnerships documentation, social workers hiring documentation, at-risk coordinators hiring documentation, professional development training, board meeting presentations, minutes, and/or agendas.
To upload documentation, LEAs will need to use the Addressing Learning Loss Smart Sheet that is housed in the ESSER Compliance Work App found at the following link. The Addressing Learning Loss Smart Sheet link for LEAs to upload documentation will go live on February 23rd, 2023. It is very helpful for LEAs to highlight the relevant sections of the documentation. This will help to expedite the review process.
Now we will address some of the ESSER 3 20% required set-aside frequently asked questions. How can the 20% set-aside be used to address learning loss support? The 20% set-aside must be used to support the implementation of evidence-based interventions that provide direct services to students that respond to their academic, social, emotional, and mental health needs, and also address the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on vulnerable student populations. Does each activity need to address academic, social, and emotional needs. No, a given activity does not need to address all three categories of need. However, an LEA's overall plan for the use of the 20% set aside must address each of these categories in aggregate. For example, an LEA may choose to fund a counselor to address social and emotional needs of students, while also funding an evidence-based summer school program to address academic needs. As a whole, the LEA's plan would address each needs category.
Can the 20% set aside be used to support activities during the regular school day? Yes. The American Rescue Plan Act references that evidence-based interventions could include the general activity categories of summer learning or summer enrichment, extended day, comprehensive after-school programs, or extended school year programs. However, the U.S. Department of Education has clarified in their ESSER FAQ guidance that additional activities can be supported, which could also occur during the regular school day. What does evidence-based mean with respect to the 20% set aside? All activities funded by the 20% set aside must be evidence-based and shown to be effective with vulnerable student populations. Evidence-based is defined as an activity, strategy, or intervention that demonstrates a statistically significant effect on improving student outcomes or other relevant outcomes. Evidence-based interventions are practices or programs that have evidence to show that they are effective at producing results and improving outcomes when implemented. May an LEA include associated costs with implementing an evidence-based strategy that advances the purpose of addressing the academic impact of lost instructional time and the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on underserved populations? Yes, the cost of providing services to students to address the academic impact of lost instructional time and address the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on underserved populations may include reasonable and necessary activities to help implement an evidence-based strategy for advancing this purpose. For example, such costs might include expenses associated with professional development, cleaning the space where a program is held, providing snacks or meals to students who are staying at school late to participate in the enrichment activity, or transportation. Are there recommended uses of ESSER funds that will assist LEAs in addressing the impact of the COVID pandemic and disruptions leading to learning loss? Under professional development, some of the uses could include reading academies, high-quality instructional materials, dyslexia training, professional development stipends, and technology integration training. Under extended instructional time, uses could include extended day, extended year, high-dosage tutoring, summer learning, and community partnerships. Under staffing, uses could include tutors, reduced class sizes, small group instruction, staff retention and recruitment bonus pay, after-school enrichment programs, and instructional coaching and leadership. Under facilities, the uses could include ventilation, cleaning, HVAC systems, and specialized instructional spaces. Under technology, the uses could include devices, infrastructure upgrades, learning management systems, digital tools, and educational applications. And finally, under mental health and behavioral supports, uses could include social workers, at-risk coordinators, additional counseling services, teacher training, and wraparound programming. That concludes the ARP ESSER 3 Addressing Learning Loss 20% Required Set-Aside Training. If you have any questions, please contact the ESSER Compliance Specialist. Thank you.